Just out of curiosity, in the chat box, type if you had a teacher that you connected with that made a difference in your life. Just type their name in the chat box just to see how many of you had that influential teacher, right? There we go. They're starting to roll in. I have one too. His name was Mr. Zachary. He was my 10th grade PE teacher. And the reason that we remember these great teachers isn't so much because we can say, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared, yada, 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 right? It isn't so much what we learned all right, but it's because of that relationship and that contextual relationship between the student and the teacher that is so powerful. And not to put too much on you here, but here's the thing that always humbled me but always made me feel amazing as a teacher is that if you've been at this for more than 6 months or a year working with students, there is already, I can guarantee it. I would put money on it if I was a betting man, that there is more than one student that already has developed that relationship with you, that has developed that affinity. Seek those out, figure out what you're doing correctly in that relationship. Again, talking about tone of voice, your body movement, how are you communicating with that? And then take that and be more intentional with that hard to reach kid, right? The one that always gets left out, the one that's always marginalized. Take a look at that because those are the kids that, right, need something. Those are the ones that have a reason for mistaken behaviors. The last E in the ERE is the experiences. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because this includes what most of the teacher training goes through, your pedagogy, your activities, your curriculum, what are the kids up to, right? So look at behaviors through the eyes of, this curriculum. Is the project that you have out, below their intelligence level? Because kids will get bored. And guess what? They will start mistaken behaviors because they want something more, but they don't know how to ask for that, right? They just see that they've been put to this project that's below them. So think about the experiences you provide and how you can differentiate those for different levels and different needs in the class. Again, it's all about intention, thinking about how you would like the children to behave, and then intentionally planning for the positive behaviors. So that is a brief introduction to the ERE. Environment, relationships, and experiences. 3 new lenses to sort of look at what you're doing and what you're thinking. And our last one is what I call the big 4. Now, a lot of times we already established that every behavior has a reason, right? And so what I'm going to share with you here are the top 4 reasons that children and youth will display mistaken behaviors. So we've already know that there's a reason they're trying to get something. And about, I don't know, I'm making up statistics as we go, but from my experience, it's got to be at least half of the mistaken behaviors that you see are all going to come out of curiosity. Kids love testing rules, right? Because that's how we all learn. We're told something, but hey, it's like we're all from Missouri, show me, right? I want to know, does that actually work? So I remember, at one school at recess time, they couldn't go behind this building, had sort of an alleyway between the fence, didn't go anywhere, but alleyway between the fence and the building, but that was off limits because we didn't have any visual on it, right? And so that was one of the rules that we talked about with the kids. Hey, when you're out at recess, you stop right here. You can't go in that little alley between the fence and the building. And sure enough, what do some of the kids do? Can you guess, right? They go into the alley. And a lot of times it's just to see what will happen, right? Is Mr. Rude serious about this? Is this like a real rule, right? Because a lot of times at home and a lot of times even from teachers, we get rules that aren't really real rules because we don't enforce them or whatever. And so with rules, kids are always going to go out and test them.